Welcome back to the Adventures of Mac Anthea. Today's New Year's Eve and we're at the Embolse de Negratin, which is a reservoir near the town of Batha, which is in Granada Province. This is about 70 kilometres further inland from where we live. So we come here fairly regularly here, and it's a good place to park the motorhome at the top. You don't get bothered, it's really quiet, and we come here mainly to kayak. Now, I haven't done many videos on kayaking. I mean, you know, it's only really worth doing one here. It's pretty boring doing the same content over and over again. But in that video, we actually travelled a sort of an hour in this direction there. We stopped on the shores to have a quick picnic. And then what we did then is we sailed with the wind paddles back. The following day, we then actually tested a dinghy, which I just recently repaired, and we actually tried out an electric trolling motor on that as well. So a good video, and I'll link that in at the end of this video. So this time, it's January, it's pretty nippy, but it doesn't normally stop us from kayaking if we want to. We've kayaked here fairly regularly in December in the past, but actually we've come here for a different reason this time. So what we've got planned over the next 2 days is, first of all, something we've been threatening to do for a long time and not been able to do until we got the e-bikes, which opened up a whole new world to us of accessing places we wouldn't normally be able to do, purely just because we're not, we're too old, we're not fit enough. So what's the plan? Well, we plan to go to the top of that mountain you can see, hopefully up there in the background. I've sussed out a trail going up there, hopefully it'll be okay. And we're going to first visit an old chapel up there, what they call an hermitage, which is meant to be right up the top there with a good viewpoint. And then we carry on further up to the peak, which is meant to have another viewpoint there, which will look down at the whole of this, as you can see in the background here. All these mountains that go on seamlessly forever with very little population here, and of course down on this beautiful reservoir. So we arrived here about 2 o'clock. We weren't in a hurry to get down here. We've been and sussed out an alternative park up just in case somebody decides to come down here and have a party tonight, so we could sort of disappear and go somewhere else. And that is also going to be the start point of the ride. So we plan to just chill out for the rest of today. We're parked sort of up the top there in the trees. I'll put a bit of B-roll in for that. And yeah, we're going to just chill out for the rest of the day. Then sort of tomorrow we're going to get up when we're ready, because it's going to be sort of 2 degrees tonight, so it's going to be a bit chilly. Have a leisurely breakfast, and then once it's warmed up a bit, we'll travel on to the start point of the trail. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to trek back up this track here to the motorhome. It's a bit nippy down here today, certainly by southern Spain standards, and I'll bring you back in the morning when we reach our location for the start point of our track up into the mountains. Good morning and welcome back. We've now moved location to the edge of a village called Thuha, which is closer to the start of the trail we're going on today. So let's get the bicycle set up and let's get going. And we're off. Okay, so we're just entering the village of Thuha. If you continue along this road all the way out to the end into the countryside, you'll come back onto the Embolse de Negratin. If you travel along that road along the edge of Negratin for about another 2 kilometres, you'll come to an old restaurant, a round restaurant, and there's actually some thermic springs there which you can bathe in. Okay, so we're looking on for a turning on the right here. I've never done this route before, so I don't know. Okay, well, we think we're going the right way. It's not always great Google Maps when you're going on trails. Still not sure if we're on the right route, but we'll see if we pick up the signs. I mean, we're going to a place called the hermitage or something, and we should pick up signs for that in a minute. It looks like it's just taking us on a little rat one actually, and now it looks like we're back onto a main road. Okay, so we do seem to be going in the right direction, so yeah, no need to stop and check yet. You can see the mountain ahead of us that we're about to go up. Okay, yeah, so it does look like she's telling us right. Bit of a rat one she's took us on there, but okay, brilliant. Okay, so it looks like we're on the right trail. Lady on Google Maps just piped up and says we've got about 1.5 kilometres along this road, so looks like we've got a little bit of asphalt to start us off, which is nice. So we're really getting up into the climb, we're getting up into it now. As usual, you can't tell from the camera, but it's quite steep. If you're new to the channel, me and Anthea are both now running the 750 watt mid-drive Bafang motors. Really happy with them, can't fault them to be honest, and they quite literally take you up anything. Me with my kit now, I'm about between 130 and 140 kilos, including the bike and everything, and yeah, motor's not even feeling it. Alright, we've got a left or right here, and Mrs. Google Maps is notably silent. Okay, stop and look at the map. Okay, starting to get really steep now. We've just had Mrs. Google Maps is back telling us 200 metres, turn left. So, all's good. Spectacular views already. Buenas. Okay, and I believe this is us.
2 kilometres.
And we've got 2 kilometres and we're now on to gravel track. Okay, so the trail's getting a bit more fast here and there. Still had Anthea off once, so yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. It's too off, just isn't enjoyable. Okay, Anthea seems to be doing better than me. Trail nearly had me off a couple of times back there. Combination of rocks and loose gravel and sand. Been quite deep, but Anthea seems to be coping well. She's now going on ahead. We've got sort of a gully up here, which you can't see from the distance. From the distance, this mountain just looks like a big flat top mountain. Quite hard going into it. Nearly had me off a couple of times. Should we walk for a bit? Okay, stop and walk for a bit. Okay, so we've stopped for an unscheduled break. Somebody wants to go home. Yeah, that was really rough going and hard. That was it's barely a track. I mean, you won't be able to tell from the camera, but yeah, there's rocks and there's deep bits of sand and gravel. I really are going up there, and obviously a lot steeper than it looks on this camera. I can see that even now looking at the screen. So looks like we're going to continue up there. So I see the aerials up above there, but it looks like we go up to this here, and I'm not sure then if it's left or right. You warm enough now? Okay, let's have a drink and a break and then we'll move on. Okay, so we decided to push it up to this next bend here because this is still a bit rough, and I've just been and run up and done a quick record on foot, and it looks quite rough on this bend, but then it starts to level out again. So I think, yeah, we'll get up to this bend and then start riding again from there and see how it goes. Okay, so that was short-lived. Got really rough, and as you probably saw from the drone footage, we just draw to a stop. So we're going to try and go up here on walk mode and get up to this pylon and see what it's like. We're doing a complete loop and we're taking a different route down, which we hope is going to be better than this. Otherwise, we want to continue up here because obviously we've got to come back down this way, and it'd just be too dangerous like this on the way down. Okay, we're really starting to struggle with this. It's really quite bad. Okay, so this is really tough, and I'm not lying, we're really struggling with this. I mean, down there it's really windy, And we've really got two choices. There's a car route up which probably would have been easier with hindsight and if we'd known doing with bicycle. So we've got two choices. We'll go retrace our steps all the way back down to the bottom, which is several kilometres, going downhill in this rough fast stuff, or we continue going up there. And I've been up there and scouted ahead. It goes up sort of up through that gap up there, and think it's going to get better around each bend, and each bend it doesn't. So we're thinking about it. We've been talking about it. What do you want to do?
I just want a helicopter to come and get me and take me home.
Okay, well I think that's off the menu. So do you want to go back down through this rough stuff, or do you want to carry on the last kilometre and see if we can make it up?
May as well make it go at the top.
Okay, all right.
Time.
All right then, well, let's have a go and see how we get on. Okay, so this is looking a little bit better. So we're gonna try actually riding it. So we just come, you can see it just down there, come up around there. It's really windy, really loose. Yeah, more of a hikey I'd say than the bikey trail. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, we've had to stop for a rest. This trail's really, really brutal. We've got to a point now where it's getting even steeper now, and we're going to have to walk it because our bikes are made, you know, I've sort of designed them for actually touring, and the handlebars are too high for us to actually get our weight over the handlebars to keep the front end of the bike down on the ground. The front end just goes light, you're losing steering and it's lifting off the ground. So yeah, we're going to have to walk this next bit. Now, I've just had a quick look on Google Maps now, and it's saying it's another kilometre up to the point where we're going up to this hermitage, but it's 550 metres before we join sort of the main road, the road route up. So I don't know how good that is, never been up here before, but we'll have to see. But I'll just spin you around. We've just come from up there, and this little bit's the bit that's just levelled out, and sort of gone round that corner around there to the right. That's where we've just come up from. And we've got to go right up that there. It doesn't look particularly steep, but I'm just stood on top of 3 metre high rock here. So yeah, there's Anthea and the bikes down there below. So we've got that. So I think we'll have a quick drink and we best get moving because we're in the shade here, we're out the sun, we've been sweating, and now we're starting to get cold. Yeah, it's quite chilly up here, as you can probably imagine, because of the altitude. So okay, we'll just have to get on with it. Okay, so let's carry on. All we can do is dig deep and just keep going because there's no going back. Okay, so we've just come from right down there. There's a tremendous view in the background there. Anthea's just struggling up this last bit, and that's starting to look like we might actually catch a break. A little bit leveler, slightly more civilised that bit, at least up to that next bend anyway. So yeah, we'll have another go over the bicycle in a minute after we've had a quick breather. Okay, so we're going to have a go at this to see how we get on. Oh, this bend's looking well ropey. Yeah. Yeah, go on, keep going around here if you can. All right, or not? Okay, try again. Oh my God. Okay, and it looks like we're there. Wow. Okay, well I think it's safe to say, even though that was tough, it was certainly worth it. Yay! Well done you. Come and have a look at this view. Yeah, I'll come and grab your bike for you before you throw it down the mountainside. Well, that's absolutely amazing. Obviously the camera and the video is just not going to do it justice, but as far as the eye can see, you can just see loads and loads of mountains going on forever. I'm not even going to try and point it out with my finger, but I shall mark it on with an arrow when I edit actually where we were parked up last night. So we have a bit of a break. We've just got that little concrete track to go up there, which will take us up to the meter and the little chapel, and obviously those aerials up there. And then we'll come back down there and we'll be going back down this track, which I think is the roadway, you know, the car way. There's also another peak, it might be those aerials up there, I don't know, which we're going to check out also. Okay, so this looks like the meter. I was expecting something a lot older actually, to be honest, but there you go. Normally they're really quite old buildings where people used to make sort of pilgrimages up to. But even better view here, all the way across. Embolse de Negratin. Down below there, the village you can see is the village of Thuha. A bit further over to our left there, we've sort of got that industrial estate there. That's more or less where we're parked with the motorhome. You probably can't make it out, but there's a sort of a roundabout down there as well where the service station was. So yeah, we're quite a way up. Let's take you around and have a look at the view from the other direction. There's definitely 360 degree views here all the way round. Pity it's not, you know, a bit of a clearer day, but it's still beautiful. Yeah, it definitely looks like you're, you know, looking down from the heavens. Just spotted a little platform over there, so I'm gonna have a little nosy at that and see what all that's about. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange platform here. I don't really know what it's for. There's a ramp down there. I don't know, maybe you just commit suicide if you don't fancy the trek all the way back down again and just go off the ramp and say goodbye to it all. I really don't know. Let's see if we've got any information. No information more for paragliding and things like that, but and that's what it's for. Yeah, it's for paragliders and hang gliders to take off. Used to hang glide many years ago, but it's been a long time. I wouldn't do it now up in Derbyshire. But and if you did take off from here, not so much on a paraglider but on a hang glider, I'm not sure what you'd use as a bottom landing. There's certainly nowhere to top land here, so yeah, I don't know. No doubt they've got designated places right down the bottom where they can land. Okay, so we just took a bit of drone footage with a big drone, see what the views are like, and we're going to make our way back the actual sort of vehicle way. It's really starting to get cold up here, my fingertips are getting colder than that, and it's starting to cloud over, so we're going to get on our way. There was going to be another bit we were going to stop, a bit of a peak, a bit further along this trail, but I don't think it's worth it. We've had some spectacular views from here, and I can't see them being any better from this other track, which is meant to be steep and about, you know, several metres long. So yeah, I think we're just going to stick to this trail, the actual car trail, and get back down off this mountain. Okay, so it looks like we've got the end of the gravel and we've got some asphalt. Straight on, yep. Yeah, so that's obviously the route up to our left there that takes us to the next bit. We're not going to bother with that today. So we prefer gravel, but sometimes it's nice to have a bit of asphalt, especially when you've had a rough ash trail like we've had up there, and it's getting towards the end of the day and by no means the end of the ride. Yeah, we just want to get back down probably as quickly as we can now. Just quickly stop to show you this. Fingertips are getting numb. I'm struggling to work the camera, but you can actually see the trail across there that we scrambled up with the bicycles. I'm not even going to try and point it out at the minute with my fingers. I'll put some arrows on it editing. So yeah, hell of a scramble, and you really get some idea of it from this viewpoint here. Okay, so we're not down the bottom by any means if you look over to our left here, but I think we're starting to get to the bit where we forked off and start to take that trail up. That's somewhere around here. I certainly remember seeing these tanks that we've got up ahead of here. Okay, and here on our right here is where we went up, which is more of a walking route for sure. Okay, so we're back down to the bottom. We're going to, instead of taking all those silly little trails, we can see if we can find the tarmac route out. I'll set the sat nav to car route. So yeah, it should take us a bit more civilised route and just get back and get warmed up. You've still got to keep your wits about you on this road here. One wrong move and yeah, it's all over. We're travelling about 35 kilometres now down here.
Follow the road?
Yeah, just follow the road, I think. Yeah, she's saying. Just seen a sign there, Ahod or something, and I seem to have seen that advertised before. Ahod is I, and it's a round hole that naturally in a rock. So that might be worth a look another day, but not today. Not until we've warmed up. Okay, and it looks like we're back on the main street that goes through the centre of Thuha. There we go. Yeah, and here we are back at the motorhome. Anthea sped on ahead, used her battery power, couldn't wait to get back into the warm motorhome. Yeah, we're both chilly. Okay, so that's the end of the bicycle ride, but by no means the end of the video. We deliberately left the motorhome in the sun, or what there was of the sun, to keep it warmed up, normally the reverse of what you'd normally do in Spain, and also so the solar power charges up a bit as well. So we're going to get inside, we're going to get warmed up a bit, and then we're going to move on to our next location. Okay, so that's the bike's back on. Hobbit's warming up in the background, and we're getting ready to move on to our park up for tonight. Now, looking around here, this would actually be a good park up in itself. It looks like it's the entrance to the communal pools and sports centre, which doesn't really get much use any other time barring in the summer. But there are a few telltale signs. If I spin you around here, you've got sort of the dustbins over there, which on the face of it shouldn't be a problem, but here in Spain they often come and empty them at sort of 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Now how often they actually get emptied out of season I don't know, but it's always a risk, you know, you don't want to get woken up. And there's also, I can hear over that way, the road on the way into the village from here. Now we won't have our windows open tonight, and I should think that quietens right down, you know, by the time it gets to sort of 10:30, 11 o'clock. But this other location I think is going to be considerably better. Okay, and here we are. We travelled about 3 kilometres further inland. There really is nothing out here at all. But what we have got is what you see is this old railway station in the background. So it's getting late. It's starting to get dark. So what we're going to do is we're going to get heads down, and I'll bring you back in tomorrow morning. We'll talk about this a bit more, and this disused railway line you can see behind us, and also what you can see going into the distance back there. Good morning and welcome back. We're at our final park up and our final location on this little sort of New Year's Day trip, and we're at the old Thuja Friela railway station. You can probably see, hang on, I'll spin you around in the background, that mountain in the background there's the one we went up yesterday. I've got to say, looking at the mountain always makes me feel like you know, someone got bored of the open plains here and just picked up a mountain from somewhere else and just, you know, dropped it there. Really doesn't look like it should be there. And if you look at the top of there, you can just about make it out those aerials. That was where we got up to where the hermitage was, and we checked out that sort of churchy thing up there. Okay, so why are we here? Well, people who follow the channel will know exactly why I'm here. For those of you who are not, let me just give you a bit of background. This is actually part of the old GSSR Railway, which stands for Great Southern Spain Railway. It's in English because it was actually put in by English companies, engineers and everything, all designed it, and all the equipment, or most of the things like way bridges and even the locomotives were all shipped over from England and in kit form more or less, and assembled in warehouses over here in Spain, mainly near a port town called Argaleus. Now, it's not unusual to come along here and find the stuff, and even though I know it's come from the UK, or what was Britain at the time, it's still weird to see, you know, cast iron stuff there with 1890 Birmingham, London written on it. You know, just seems a bit strange to me, but it's still a lot of the, you know, the original stuff is still here and can be seen, and it makes it really interesting. Now, I first discovered this when I saw that, you know, they'd converted the bottom bit of the track at the end of the village to be a birthday. And I went along on a bicycle, and I thought this is quite interesting. I did a bit of research about the GSSR railway, where it started, where it finished, and it started in Murcia and finished in Granada. So I thought, okay, then that's go along it with a bicycle. I'd be nice to go from one end to the other by bicycle. And that's where we started to run into problems. There was a hell of a lot of information on the GSSR railway, on individual sections of Beer Birthday, but there's no continuity, you know, or structure to the information. So, you know, when you search where is the start of the Beer Birthday, or where is the start of the, you know, this particular section, there's no information whatsoever. It's all higgledy-piggledy and thrown together. Every sort of municipal wants to take credit for the bit they've converted and blow their own trumpet, but doesn't want to blow anybody else's. So yeah, it's a matter that it's taken about 2 years to actually research and doing various stops at different places along the route to see, you know, what is actually still in use, because some of the railway's still in use, which has been recently decommissioned but still laid to rail. What is actually been converted to be a birthday, which is Spanish for green ways, which basically converted to bridleway for non-motorised use and leisure activity. And then also there's a few wild lost sections as well, which are quite interesting. So yeah, we've been putting this together, and I think now we're on we've just completed section 4, which takes us up to a place called Saron. Now this section here, which I've just come to recce out, and I found by sheer chance because recently they've started adding the green ways, you know, the Beer Birthdays to Google Maps, and I suspect they're probably having the same problems as I was, actually finding out where they are. And yeah, I've noticed recently that this section's been added, and because we were close to it, I thought let's do a little detour and check it out. Now this will actually be section 6 when I actually do it. We've still got to do section 5 from Saron to Baffa, never done that before, and then from Baffa to a place called Baoul. And from there it looks like it ends in a wrought iron bridge. Now whether we can get across it or not, I don't know. It's not Beer Birdie the other side, but you can clearly see from satellite that the actual pass from where the lines were is still there, so it's probably going to be another sort of wild lost section, that final bit going up to a place called Guardif. So we could end this video here today, but I'm having a little think. You know, we've had a good night's sleep last night. The last car went by the motorhome about 6 o'clock last night, and the first one went by the motorhome about 9:30 this morning, so you know, really good sleep. We were careful and checked out the wind. As you can probably see in the background, we've got wind turbines in the background. You know, they haven't put them there for no reason. It's because it's a windy place. So we checked out the wind, and that was low last night, or practically non-existent. I know that it forecast was a really cold night. It got down to -2 last night, which was about 4 degrees inside the motorhome. So yeah, it was quite a chilly night, but other than that, we had a really good night's sleep. So what I'm thinking is maybe we should get the bike out, just me, go and have a look on that track down below. If you head down there about sort of 5 kilometres, there's a really interesting tunnel, and just give me a little bit of an insight into what this section's going to be like. So I thought what I'd do is go down, have a quick look at that tunnel. So at about 2-3 minutes on to the end of this video, it looks a really interesting tunnel. Take you guys along as well, and let's go and have a quick look at the tunnel, and then we'll finally end that video there. And we're off. We're running on yesterday's batteries still. I've borrowed Anthea's. Hers is a bit newer than mine. It's showing 4 bars. I suspect it'll probably quickly drop down to 3. Anyway, we're about just under 5 kilometres away from the tunnel. I'm not going to bore you with a load of straight track all the way along, so if there's any points of interest, I'll film them along the way. But other than that, I'll bring you back in when we reach the tunnel. Okay, we're coming away from the station, but I'm just going to quickly stop here and show you this, because it's worth a look. Just across there, you can see sort of the cloud down there. That's where the Embolse de Negratin is, but we can't see it now because that low cloud's actually lying and sitting in the bottom of the valley and over the top of the water. And there again, there's another view of the mountain we went up yesterday, which you see even more prominent, the fact that it looks like it's just been dumped there in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, beautiful views. I wonder if we'll get a better viewpoint later on. A beautiful morning for cycling again today. There's no wind, and despite it being well below freezing last night, it's quite nice to cycle in as long as you're in the sun. We just pulled into this bit of a shaded area in here, and as soon as you get out of the sun, you can feel the chill. You can actually still see frost on the ground in here. But as you can see probably from the wind turbines ahead, one's only very, very gently turning, so yeah, little to no breeze really, certainly not at ground level. So we're coming into another shaded area where the railway line's been chopped straight through the rock. Not too bad on the pedalling side. I'm not using pedal assist at all, albeit Beer Day's more or less never more than a 2% gradient, purely because obviously when you are pulling heavy weights with trains, you need to pull them up the hills. If they're too steep, the trains won't pull them up. And also on the way down, the last thing you want is those trains running away with you and those carriages pushing you along. So yeah, never more than the 2% gradient. They're particularly good because obviously they're easy to ride. You know, you've no problem pedalling along them really, even for the the least fit person on the planet. And also they're often on elevated positions, and you get good views of the countryside, and often see the countryside that you normally see from the road from a completely different perspective. I'm here now, just look now, the views from this point now are tremendous. I'd say the only real downside about Beer Days, if like me you like doing loops, you don't like coming back on yourself, but with a bit of initiative you can normally find an alternative route which isn't Beer Day to loop your way back to more or less your start point. So it looks like we're coming up to a point where the Beer Day or the old railway line's been cut in half by a new road. Quick look. Yeah, all clear. I don't think this road sees much traffic. And what have we got coming up here? Is this the tunnel? Yes, it looks like it is. That didn't take long. Yeah, I recognise these pillars from the photos. And here's the tunnel. Well, in the pictures I saw that there were lights on in here. Ah, yes, there are lights. These will be like the ones that we've had in previous videos where they're on sensors. and they come on as you go through, hopefully. Now, it looks like they're off. We've got the drone following, so let's see if he's going to be able to follow in this. No, we've lost him in the dark. Well, it's so dark down here, yes, the torch helps a tiny bit, at least I can see the ground immediately in front of me. Yeah. Actually, I think we'll risk riding very slowly. And we're out. Okay, we've got to go all the way back through there now. This is quite pretty down here, look, all cut into the rock again. We'll go a little bit further, see what spot once we come out of this, and then I think we'll call it the end of the video. So I think we're going to end that video there. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll leave as much as I can in the description below as regards information. The wiki lock app actually failed me, which is no great surprise yesterday going up through that gully, but the actual Google Maps version of it worked pretty well. As you know, I didn't lose that, that was pretty good, so I'll put that down in the description, and various other points, you know, of interest, and also, you know, map points and pinpoints for where we parked up. So I think all that remains is to thank you for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.